Okay, so one thing that I want to say that we can all just take a deep breath here and feel much better about ourselves is that if you are struggling with your weight, if you've been on and off of diets, you've lost it, you found your weight, you lost your weight, you found your weight, I want you to know that there's nothing wrong with you. There never was, and there never will be. If weight has been a struggle with for you, then there's a problem with your system. It's not you. You are not who we need to fix. We need to fix the system that you're using. And WildFit is very uniquely positioned in that it's a lifestyle. So you don't have to worry about the eat this, don't that, relying on your willpower. Weight gain or weight regain is not a personal failure in this space, right? For most of us, we have been brainwashed by the marketing industry for decades. And it wasn't just us, it was our parents. So the things that we learned to eat, the food that we learned to consume, how we learned to eat, and the habits and systems we put around the way we fed ourselves, marketing industry, it was our parents' fault, but they didn't know any better. They thought they were doing everything that they needed to correctly for us. So we're going to kind of peel back the layers of that onion a little bit here. And then the other thing I wanted to say is that today is not going to be about motivation, and it's not going to be about discipline. It's going to be about structure and application, and how if you truly want to lose your weight and never find it again, then you're in exactly the right spot. So what I wanted to start with a little bit is, we talked about weight loss not being a personal problem. It truly is a system problem. And let me just ask you a couple of questions here. Have any of you found yourselves just standing in your pantry or with your cupboard door open, just standing there, like looking for something to eat, but also knowing that you're not even really hungry? Because let's say you had a meal a couple hours ago. Yeah, see a lot of heads nodding. That's exactly it. Or you have an evening routine, right? Maybe you work during the day, you come home, you have a nice dinner, and then you do a little, channel surfing on the couch, maybe try not to binge your favorite show, but you want to get at least one episode in, and boom, 8 o'clock rolls around, and next thing you know, you're in your freezer, the tub of ice cream is your hand, you have your spoon, and you're standing there eating it. Like you're not even putting it in a bowl and sitting down somewhere where you can relax. You're literally standing there in your freezer, spoon in hand, shoveling in your ice cream. Now, here's my favorite one. And I have been so guilty of this in the past. I'm doing the food shopping, and I'm unloading my basket, and I'm putting everything on the conveyor belt, right? And there's one item that I just kind of set to the side because I want it to go last, so it can be at the top of my bag so I can eat that before I get home, and potentially destroy the evidence so nobody knows in my family that I just ate the Oreo cookies, because I'm telling my children that is bad for them, but I'm going to eat them and I'm going to do it on the way home so no one even knows I had it. Anybody with me on that one? Like, it's crazy. Like these are the systems we have in place. They're the habits that we have. And when you truly want to transform your health, it's really important to understand why you have those habits and to understand where your system is broken. And that's what we can do, especially in our 40s and beyond, because our bodies start changing and there's nothing we can do about it, right? We are, our hormones are changing, and it's fine. And we can either look at it as, oh my gosh, my body is changing, I'm gaining weight, my hormones are all messed up, I'm now going through my perimenopause, I'm going through menopause, and you can look at it as a journey that's really frustrating because all of this stuff is falling apart for you, right? Or you can look at it and go, oh, okay, so this thing is happening whether I want it to or not. There's not a single woman on earth that does not go through perimenopause and then menopause and postmenopause, right? It happens to all of us. There's nothing we can do about it. It's coming. So why don't we look at it as, okay, if we know it's coming, or maybe it's already here and we're already there, we can say, all right, well, if I know how to eat because I know what my hormones are doing now, I know how my body is changing, I know what my body needs to stay healthy, then let's just treat it as a journey and make the last half of our lives as enjoyable as the first. And that's what we can do, right? It's just a matter of putting the right system in place. And I don't know about you, and you can just raise your hand, but my advice to almost all the women that I coach is, if you have gone to your doctor and you've been like, okay, hey doc, got this little extra, got this weight gain happening here, but I'm eating the same as I used to. I'm exercising the same as I used to, but the weight's here, and I don't understand what's going on. And your doctor, who has the white lab coat, stethoscope, big degree on the wall, saying, listen to what I say, and may actually look like has never exercised and hit Starbucks every day on the way into work, says to you, well, if you're gaining weight, you just need to eat less and exercise more. Wrong. That is the absolute worst formula. My advice is you may want to find another doctor. That's not going to work for us. That's not why we're here, and that's not what's going to work. So, how many of you know, I talked a little bit about it in my presentation on Thursday, know about the keto diet? Like, yep, hands, nods, okay. So the keto diet is very much a diet where you have a list of food rules, and it's a eat this and not that, right? And if you've ever tried the keto diet, you've probably lost weight. I did. I lost a ton of weight on keto. And you may have family and friends that have lost weight on keto, which is fantastic, because keto forces you to lose weight if you follow the program. Because what's happening is your body is designed to have to use basically two fuel sources, right? It's designed to either use simple carbohydrates, which you just consumed from a meal, or it's designed to use your fat for fuel. And it's a body system called you're in ketosis, right? And that's what the keto diet does, is it triggers your fat for fuel system to kick in, because you're limiting the number of carbs that come into your body, right? Well, on the keto diet, it is absolutely almost not recommended, but it's approved to take a hamburger and then slap on a piece of cheese, maybe smother it with a little mayo, add some bacon slices, top it off with avocado. But as long as you don't eat the bun, you are on your diet, right? Because there's very little carbs in that. There's a ton of fat from potentially harmful meat sources, but you're on your keto diet and you're going to lose weight. And that's what we're all there to do. We're there to lose weight. But then inevitably, and this happens all the time, I would say probably 95, 98% of the time, life happens, right? You turn the corner and whoa, there's a holiday, a Christmas, a Thanksgiving in there, maybe a Halloween, we have kids and you're just coming home with these big old buckets of candy. Or, an event happens that you want to celebrate, New Year's Eve, maybe you're getting married, attending a wedding, like something you want to celebrate, going on your dream vacation. That's a fabulous thing to celebrate. If you're in France, I guarantee you're not walking by the bakery and not having some fresh croissants. You're just not doing it, and you're probably not going to say no to the pasta, right? Those carbs are coming back in while you're on vacation. The same is true for when you're maybe having an event that's not so great, right? Let's say that you lost your job, or you're going through a separation or a divorce, right? Now we want the comfort. And what is comforting to us? Carbs, right? We start thinking about, ooh, I really want that warm chocolate chip cookie because, that's what my mom or my dad gave me when I was little, when I needed to feel better. Or they took me out to get an ice cream cone, right? So now we want that comfort food, and we let those carbs back in, okay? Well, you let those carbs back in, and your mind now is saying, you blew it, you're off the diet. You failed, you're no longer doing your diet. Then it kind of really goes crazy. It's like, what's wrong with you? Why don't you have the willpower to eat what you're supposed to? Eat this and not that. You failed, you're done. And maybe a little time goes by, and all of a sudden you step on the scale, and you realize that you just found every single pound that you lost being on the keto diet. Well, then what do? Right? We gained our weight back. So what's the first thing we do? We go back on the keto diet because it worked so well the first time. And now we're in this little cycle of lose the weight, find the weight, lose the weight, find the weight, maybe add a little more weight, and then we just stop losing the weight because we're done. Like, we've been on so many yo-yo diet cycles that it's just not working for us and it's not happening. So that's where Wild Fit comes in, because Wild Fit is not a diet. And I'll explain that in just a second. And it's not a eat this, not that. It is a system. It is a way of eating, a way our human bodies were made to eat in order to sustain and have healthy nutrition, life, and vitality. It's a lifestyle. And it's something that you can easily integrate into your lifestyle. It's not something where you need to step outside and you're going out with your friends or your colleagues at work, and all of a sudden you have to be like, oh no, I'm not eating that right now. I'm on a diet, right? And let's just take a step back and look at the word diet for a moment. Typically speaking, the word diet kind of has the same connotation as some of those other very colorful 4-letter words in our vocabulary, right? It's like, I'm on a diet. Like, okay, Wild Fit is never something you are on. It is something that you have. It is something that you integrate. It is something that you do. It's never something that you are on. Once you have gone through a Wild Fit class, you are just Wild Fit forever. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't undo it. You can't undo a 90-day challenge on Wild Fit. It's impossible. So we try not to teach diet and treat diet as a 4-letter word. What we do, however, is look at what the human diet is supposed to be. And by diet, I'm using, just by definition, the food and beverages and nutrients that our bodies were designed to consume. That's it. That's all there is to a diet. It's not something you're on. It's something that we're supposed to be eating. It's a way of eating. And so humans have a diet. I think we can all agree that elephants have a diet and seals have a diet, right? Now, if you fed a seal an elephant's diet, that seal is not going to get the nutrients that it needs because it's not supposed to eat what the elephant's eating. And vice versa, if you give the elephant the seal's diet, the elephant's health is going to be affected negatively because it's not getting the nutrients that the elephant's body needs. Our human bodies are the same thing, right? And you can think of it like gasoline in your automobile, right? If you put the right gas in your car, it's going to run. But if you put maybe water in your car, it's not going to run. And our bodies are designed the same way. If we don't give our bodies the nutrients that they're designed to consume, then we can't be operating at our optimal health. We just can't. Our car's not going to run. Our bodies are not going to run as efficiently as they need to. It's not going to happen. So, one of the things that differentiates Wild Fit from other diets that you are on is something as simple as your food choices. And what I mean by that is when you're making your food choices, if you're following a this or that, it's great. Willpower will get you about 80% of the way. And it'll get you through, for maybe 3-4 weeks. But then again, life happens, an event comes around our corner, and then we're off our diet. With Wild Fit and the way, I don't know, how do I say, the Wild Fit and the way it's designed is it's using your body's natural need for the nutrients that it needs, right? And it's also working on the signals of your body. And so one example of this would be, let's say that you are, you're standing in your pantry, right? And you have no idea why you're standing in your pantry. Well, if you don't know why you're standing in your pantry and you don't understand what is causing you to make that food choice or make that system or that action before you actually do the food choice, then it's going to keep happening. You're going to keep standing in your pantry. You're going to keep having the tub of ice cream with the freezer door open, putting in some scoops before, on the commercial before your show starts again. You're gonna put that food to the side on the conveyor belt because you don't understand why you're doing it. And that's what's different about Wild Fit. Is it takes a psychological, a behavioral change approach to your diet. So you start understanding your why. And when you understand your why, now you understand how to avoid the why, right? You can pattern interrupt. You can put something in between you and the action you're about ready to take because you understand why you're getting ready to do it.